welcome to Friendly Giant Showcase. My name is Nancy Angus, and I'm your host for the next 30 minutes when we talk about aging in Thunder Bay. I'm really happy to be part of a project which we call Giants. We're hosted by Age Friendly Thunder Bay, and Giants is an acronym that stands for Grand Individuals Aging with Neighbors in Thunder Bay. And we're all getting a little bit older. Thunder Bay, of course, has one of the highest percentages of older adults in Canada. So we have, over the last couple of years, with help from New Horizons for Seniors funding, been able to start some projects which we call Age Friendly Giants projects in the community. And 10 very brave souls came together in 2017 and shared a 3-day experience of making digital stories. So these are videos where people talked about aging in Thunder Bay, but more in the way of how to meet your neighbors, how to be a good neighbor, and also what to do in your house, how to make your house comfortable, safe, and beautiful as you get a little bit older. So we've been able to get a few of our giants in studio today with us. Diana Plomp is here with me right now. We're going to be watching Diana's movie a little bit later, and then talking to Diana as well as a couple of other giants about what they found through the process of making a film, and also what they want to communicate to other seniors living in Thunder Bay in order to make the journey as enjoyable and as connected with other people as possible. So I think with 2019 being upon us now, what our giants are doing with the next phase of our project, once that our videos were made, we've gathered tips from other seniors about what they've done to age in Thunder Bay, but we want to kind of take it to the next step and give you some opportunities to get together face to face to talk about these things. So one of the things that we've put together is an event called Tea Talks, where we get together with other giants and we gather at the Mary J. L. Black Library to talk about aging and get some really good suggestions from each other. And our next Tea Talk is coming up on July the 10th at 1:30 at the Mary J. L. Black Library on Edward Street. So I just want to invite you to watch with me Diana Plomp's video. Right now we're going to see it, and we'll be back with you in a couple of minutes, but enjoy Diana's video, and we'll be back and talk about it after this.
When I was growing up, there weren't many pathways for a proper young girl to take. I didn't want to be a teacher, and nursing was yucky. So I became the only thing I thought I would be good at, a wife. Turned out, first time didn't work. In all fairness, we were still kids ourselves. The second time was a charm. 40 years and still counting. He helped me become who I am today. When I retired, I became a homebody. I stayed home, became a couch potato, puttering in my yard on occasion. This didn't last long. The restlessness was setting in. My job had been very physical and social. I started to miss it. Besides, I was becoming boring. When you are together for so long, it seems you run out of interesting things to talk about. Sitting quietly isn't my thing. My husband observed my restlessness and encouraged me to seek out other avenues. Maybe he was bored too. Although I knew a lot of people, they mostly all worked. I think one day my hubby suggested 55 plus may have something. That's how I connected with fun, active babes, or as we refer to it, fabs. It was a lifesaver. I started going to all these monthly events, doing different things, aquabics, yoga, bowling, dancing, and all the other physical activities, even pole dancing. I became interested in people again. Because of this, I also became interesting. I realized there are a lot of fun things to be had by us old people, and I wanted to share in it all. So now my pathway has taken me out of the yard and into the community, making friends and having a lot of fun.
Hello and welcome back to Friendly Giant Showcase. I'm Nancy Angus, and thank you, Diana Plomp, for making that video in 2017. And I want to know a little bit about how you got involved with the Giants Project in the first place.
Well, I have this friend that emailed me and asked if I would be interested in making a movie, and I'm game for almost everything. So I thought, sure, why not? It was really exciting.
And it was a 3-day intensive workshop to be able to write your own story, find your own pictures, put it all together, and
You know, it really was, but everyone involved was so helpful and inspirational. They gave us a lot of tips. Each other, we didn't know each other, and now we're friends.
I think that's one of the really cool things about the Giants Project, and that's really one of the things that we want to get a message out to people in the community,
Yeah.
is how important it is to step, as you say in your video, you stepped out of your garden and into the community.
Yes.
And what was it like for your husband who encouraged you to maybe try something new? What was it like for him to kind of...
Well, I think that he saw that, I don't know, I was losing my spark because, you know, you're just at home and you're doing housework or whatever. And he thought, you know, she's got to get out and do things. She's a people person and she needs to be visiting with people. And so he suggested that I get hold of 55 Plus, and they have that fantastic program,
the FABS program.
the FABS program, and I just fell in love with it, and here I am.
And FAB stands for Fun Active Babes.
That's
and you
right.
found yourself doing things that you never would
Oh.
have thought you could do.
Exactly. I never imagined doing, period.
Yes. And
So-
again, doing it with other women, so kind of creating new friendships and new people to do things with
That's
along the
right.
way. So
Yeah.
one of the things that also I found was really interesting that you didn't say in your video, but I know about you because I'm
Yeah.
still in touch with you over the years, that you've gone back to work.
Yes.
So what is it like to go back into the workforce?
Well, I only work part-time, but I just love it. Like I said, I'm very people-oriented, so my jobs are both dealing with the public, and it gets me out there, and it's different people all the time, so they all have to live and put up with me because once the doors are closed, they're locked, so they can't get out. Not until I let them out of the vehicle.
You're driving people
That's
as
right.
a courtesy vehicle, that's right. So, yeah, so that's part of that concept about, you know, young people think, oh, okay, you know, we work and then we retire, but sometimes some people like to keep working in some capacity, but not maybe full-time, but you still
Yeah,
want to be
just-
connected to people.
Just to keep your foot in the door. It gets really boring sitting at home, not having anything to talk about. Like I've said in my video, my husband and I have been together a long time. You run out of things to talk about. So getting out into the community, you become interesting again. I don't like being uninteresting.
And one of the tips that you shared, which I hope you don't mind me sharing, is we asked people for their advice, and you said change things up. Even try changing your hair color, which I think is like, who cares? It's not just for the, you know, the 20-year-olds
That's
anymore.
right.
We can all have fun
That's
no
right.
matter what age and stage
There
we're
are
in.
so many elderly ladies, I'll put it nicely, that I see with their hair colored, and I don't mean bleach blonde, I mean pink or purple or blue. It's wonderful because you feel so vibrant and alive.
Thanks, Diana. Fabulous to meet you. I'm Nancy Angus. We'll be back in a couple of minutes after this station break. Hello and welcome back to Friendly Giants Showcase. My name's Nancy Angus, and again in Thunder Bay we have a fabulous group of people who are seasoned, and we call ourselves Giants, which stands for Grand Individuals Aging with Neighbors in Thunder Bay. One of the things that we're really trying to do is to bring people together to talk about aging, to share ideas about housing and opportunities to connect with people in the neighborhood. And one of the key things that we came up with in one of our workshops was a little event or a little project called My Eight, which was a laminated page of finding out a couple of people. We call it My Home to Stay team. So 8 people that can help you stay in your home. Now this can be a neighbor, it can be a family member, but also people have put things on their team of 8, like the volunteer center, the community center, somebody, a couple of friends that they connect with by telephone on a regular basis, the person who you call to cut your grass or fix a leaky faucet. But we wanted to really encourage people to develop a team, be part of a team, whether it's a hockey team or what we call our Home to Stay team. And this is just one of the tips that the Age-Friendly Giants have come up with, and we're really proud of. So now we're going to see Brian Speer's digital story that he created, and we're really proud of. And I'm going to turn this over to Brian's video, so I hope you enjoy it. Again, my name is Nancy Angus. You're watching Friendly Giant Showcase on Shaw Cable.
I was born a healthy, inquisitive, energetic boy. That all changed at age 13. I was diagnosed with a brain tumor that left me with disabilities, namely facial paralysis, poor balance, impaired dexterity, progressive hearing loss, and a speech impediment. From that time, my life became full of the challenges of learning to adapt to the changes in my body. I had to learn how to speak and walk again, reach for things without knocking them over. Basically, learn how to communicate with others and be understood. 45 years later, I'm still adapting. After 11 years of living with my sister and her 3 children, it was time for me to find my own apartment on that tree-lined street that I'd always wanted. I spent the last year adapting to living on my own again, but I was determined not to be isolated. I made a point of introducing myself to my neighbors. The lady across the hall gives me loaves of homemade bread. The woman down the hall has 2 little dogs. One likes me, the other doesn't. I find that amusing. I gained instant rapport with the retired man who lives in the apartment below me. On my walks, I say hello to people. And every Saturday, I go to nearby yard sales and buy something. My favorite is a clock I purchased for $5. The clock didn't work, but I knew it could fix it. If there is one thing I had learned in my life's journey, it's this world is about change. If we want to be part of it, we have to adapt. Life doesn't find you. You have to find life. You have to make things happen. In a year of living in my apartment, I know I gained a foothold here. I can tell from the looks and voices of recognition I receive. This place is now truly my home.
Hi, I'm Nancy Angus, and welcome back to Friendly Giant Showcase. I am now very proud to introduce everyone to Brian Speer. Brian is another one of our giants who took part in 2017 in our digital storytelling workshop. And Brian, the story that you created to me is so moving. It shows of what you've done in your life to overcome physical challenges that some people don't face until they're much older in life. So one of the areas that you've really worked on is mobility. And you said in your apartment, the apartment that you had, you wanted to be able to manage in your apartment and be close to bus stops, correct?
Yes. It's important to, once I started using buses all the time, to where are the bus routes? Where is the nearest bus stop, and get to know that route and the routes and the connect. And in a very short time, you get to know exactly where you want. You don't need to look at which bus you need to take, just when it's coming.
And Brian, you talk about moving and being on your own in an apartment and meeting those neighbors. So you live by yourself. Even now you've moved again and you're in a smaller apartment. So
Yes.
what are the tips that you have to get to know people?
Go out, say hello. And I'm Brian, what's your name? If somebody needs something and you got it, as I did the first week I moved in, give them a call. Yeah, I got it, and they come and make a friend that way. But just going out talking, even if you don't exchange names, talk. They know you're approachable. You talk, you're friendly, and you meet so many people in a very short time.
Being approachable, that's the
That's
thing.
the thing.
Making the first, saying hello, taking a while to maybe, and you said going to garage sales.
That's
and
it.
yard sales, and
Yes.
making a point of going out of your house to chat to people.
That's it. Plus, people may not know me personally in their neighborhood, but I'm part of it. And I feel a part of it then, just going around to local sales.
And we have to talk about that one funny little story about your clock.
Yes.
The clock that you featured in your video. Someone thought that they had made that clock that you picked up
Yes.
at a garage sale.
Yes. It's funny, I saw the clock, I liked it, and it didn't work. I'm looking, I can fix that, And sure enough, it took long. It's just the hands are caught in each other. And there it is on the wall. And it's gone from the apartment that I was in to the apartment I'm in now. And it's a lovely clock. Unfortunately, I think it would have been great if I'd actually met the person who
We'll make that happen.
made it.
We'll
Right?
make that
Yes.
happen. So,
Yes.
Yeah. So thanks, Brian, and thank you for your inspiration to so many of us. And I'm Nancy Angus. We're on Friendly Giant Showcase, and we'll be back in a few minutes with another giant. Hello, I'm Nancy Angus, and again, we're back here with Friendly Giants Showcase. We are a group of people, grand individuals aging with neighbors in Thunder Bay, and we're trying to get people together to talk about aging and homes, no matter what size of home that you live in. One of the things that we really are proud of is we've created a website, www.agefriendlygiants.ca. We encourage everyone, no matter what age you are, to check out our website because we have tips that seniors have shared about, and we put them up on a blog. They're great strategic opportunities and ideas to give you a chance to see what you might like to do in your own home or how you might find inspiration to go and meet a new neighbor. So I'm Nancy Angus. This is Age Friendly Giants Showcase, and we're on Shaw Spotlight. We're going to watch Judy Moscow's film and be back in a couple of minutes.
Having moved every few years as a child, it was so nice to find a safe, friendly, and stable community. Castle Green Cooperative provided this for me and my son, giving me roots and peace of mind that I never experienced as a child. Over 40 years ago, when I first moved into the 1300 cluster, a group of townhouses clustered together, I was required to work during the day and then return several evenings a week. So what does a single mom do with a 3-year-old child who has been in daycare all day? I wanted someone who would mother, nurture, and teach him in my absence. While the cluster provided us with adopted grandmas to help out. You know the old saying, it takes a village to raise a child. In my case, it took my cluster to help raise my son. Members of our cluster have worked together over the years to landscape, to make it a very pretty place, also to help others learn to garden, to share plants back and forth, to mow each other's lawns, to shovel out our neighbors, and to generally just be there for each other. After my stroke 12 years ago, Castle Green made changes to my house so I could return home from the hospital. I got a stair railing and grab bars in my bathroom. My neighbors still watch out for me. One has a key to my house and will come in to check on me if my outside light is not off at 7:30 each morning, weekends included. I love my home and location on McVicar Creek, with its little back and front yards. And in the spirit of cooperative living, we neighbors just look out for and help each other.
Thanks, Judy. That was amazing to be able to watch your video. I'm here with Judy Moscow, and her story to me, again, is all about living in a community called Castle Green Cooperative. So what's it been like? You've been in Castle Green now for
42 years.
42 years, and they go by quickly.
They go by very quickly.
But you want to stay there. They've
I
been
have-
able to kind of help you.
I have no intention of moving. And in the beginning, when I moved into Castle Green, I moved in because I did not want the responsibility of home ownership. I was a single mom with a 3-year-old, and I just didn't want to have that responsibility. And this offered me a home to raise my son in lots of green space, and I've never looked back.
So some people might not understand what cooperative living is all about. And Thunder Bay, I think the only cooperative space that we have is Castle Green.
Actually, we have 3. We have Speer View and Tawasin, and Castle Green is the nonprofit co-op which offers affordable housing and is a family-oriented community where the members volunteer to look after their own home and the cooperative as a whole to keep costs down. And in Castle Green, we have 215 homes, 83 of which are subsidized. So it's a big organization, and it's a really quiet place to live, even with 215 families. There's lots of quiet space. There are lots of green space.
One of the things I thought you talked about in your story was having to find a babysitter, and what better way to look at a village to help raise your child as a single mom.
Like it says, people say it takes a village to raise a child. It took my cluster to help raise my son because I was working and I had to go back to work in the evenings besides working in the day. And one of my neighbors just stepped up and said, I would be more than willing to volunteer to look after your son. She didn't volunteer, she volunteered, but I paid her to look after him. And she was the first of 2 adopted grandmothers that my son has growing up in Castle Green. So,
and that's one of the tips that came out in our Giants project, is if you don't have to be related and have, blood grandchildren, but you can be kind of a person in someone's life as an adopted grandparent or a mentor in some way. So.
Living in Castle Green, you have an extended family, whether you like it or not. Your neighbors become your family. You look out for each other, and you're just there for each other. And it's been with my stroke, it's been really, really rewarding knowing that my neighbors are there for me if I need them at any moment.
And you make a really another great point in your video about coming back home after a stroke and realizing that some of the things in your apartment you'd have to have adapted. So how can people that are living independently in the community, what can they do to kind of recognize that they might have to make some changes in their home?
Well, just because I was not allowed to come home until the Castle Green made changes to my house for my own safety. And I think when living in the community, if you've got needs in your home, you have to get those looked after because of safety reasons. You cannot not do that because a fall is not what you want.
No, we want to do whatever you can do because, as we know, the falls can make a huge impact.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So thank you so much, Judy. This has been just so great. And again, this is Friendly Giant Showcase here on Shaw Spotlight. Thanks everybody for watching. This is our very first effort at Friendly Giant Showcase. I hope you'll be back again to join us again. If you want to find out more about what we're doing, check out our website at www.agefriendlygiants.ca. Thanks again. See you next time.